Hello to the universe. Wow, one beer makes me more coarse. That's a lesson. But point being, big court story today is basically Trump is basically telling the courts to pound sand. San Francisco courts, pretty rough-wing judges to pound sand when it comes to deporting gang members using the Alien Enemies Act against gangs and so on and so forth. So I'm probably going to get into my thoughts about like whether that's a good idea or not. Um, My personal belief is that if you're part of a gang that is terrorizing people and you're not even here illegally, then why do we want you here? In general. But more to the point is Democrats need to pick their battles better. Like, come on, guys, this isn't a winning fight. It's not a good battle to take. You're gonna lose with most people. You just are. Um, I don't care if you think you're noble or whatever. Um, You're taking the 20 on every 80-20 issue. Do you think that's going to work out for you? You got rejected the last fall based on being a bit too woke. That's why you lost. Yeah, people gave reasons like inflation or the economy, stuff like that. That's not why. I don't think that's why people actually voted the way they did. They changed their votes. Well, that's why the typical people are Democrat and Republican. People change their votes because of the woke stuff. And if you just seem so stupid, nobody's going to take you seriously. And like, I want you to be a good party. Like, there are good takes Democrats will take. Go against Wall Street. Everybody hates Wall Street. Republicans hate, bag of people hate Wall Street. Democrats hate Wall Street. Everybody hates Wall Street. Easy battle. Or like, oh, you want to cut money going to corrupt people? Yeah, some is going to liberal causes. There's probably a lot of corruption going to gas companies, big agriculture, big oil, big coal. Let's say, hey, we're wasting money there. Don't defend murderers. That's not a difficult take to make. Like, I'm not a political strategist, but like, what the fuck are you doing? It's not smart. It's not intelligent. Especially if you're like trying to sell yourself as being the sensible party and no more common sense, but pro science. Well, don't be stupid. It's a pretty low bar. Like, yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's better. Um, Trump's not a genius. He just knows do what's popular, and then people are like, oh, that's populist. Okay, so the argument against populism is basically people don't know what's good for them. That something that sounds good can actually be bad, and something that sounds bad can actually be good. And you need to be going at things with a certain level of intelligence to do the right thing. You got to actually do something smart to be anti-populist, because yes, the populist is the average guy on the street. If you're being dumber than the average guy on the street, that's not going to work as an argument against populism. Right now, you don't seem like experts. You don't seem like elites. You seem like a bunch of idiots. And that's not good for the country because, like, I tend to think that things are going okay right now. Not going terribly. Outside if you're a federal worker, which is my state, so you know. But it could go that direction. You see the people on the right who are on Twitter or Quora or whatever. There's a radical edge to the right now, and that's getting stronger. And we need the left wing to be like a viable alternative to the right wing. So, guys, just stop taking stupid. Don't side with the Houthis. Don't side with gang members, with foreign gangs. Don't side with viters. I mean, actually, siding with viters actually has a pretty good track record. So, no, I take back that last one. But just don't be stupid, guys. Just stop listening to the college liberal arts majors. They're not your best. You have smart people. Believe me, there are plenty of left wingers who I really respect their intelligence and would be amazing leaders for the country if they ever wanted to go into office. You're not being led by them. Listen to your Fettermans. Listen to your Josh Shapiro's. Listen to your Bill Maher's. Just don't listen to the idiots you're listening to now. The rich white liberal arts student who believes in communism. That's not your best mind. Actually, the communists are actually pretty smart. Apologies to communists out there. Communists actually, the ones I've met have been pretty, dare I said, based. Anyway, next story. Hinge. On a Hinge, and I'm not going to go into my personal issues with Hinge, but it is amazing how many Christian conservative religious women who are on Hinge. And I know that most of them are not being successful in finding what they're trying to find, and a lot of them are having really bad experiences with men. And it's like, I'm on Hinge too, so I'm not going to judge. Everybody's trying that. But it's amazing that like people miss so many, and it's not just me. There's so many opportunities that were missed by different women I went to school with. I was in all these Christian groups, right? And there's always a Christian guy, had his Christian girl, and Christian girl was like, "Oh no, I'm okay. You're not quite high enough for me." And then they graduate, not having met somebody. Then they go on all these random dates. It's like you haven't gotten closer to what you say you want to get by postponing things past college. Like, you're a college woman, you should probably try to settle down. Like, it doesn't always work. It doesn't. It's people are jerks. People are flaky. People are different than anybody think they're going to be. Fine. There is no shortage of douchebaggery going on in dating. That said, you got to take your shots, right? And that's the big mistake. That's the biggest mistake I made, is that I didn't like shoot widely enough, and so I missed out on I might have missed out on some people. Who would have been good spouses. But yeah, the whole college thing, that's probably the best spot you're gonna find to meet anybody. Um, for men, because you can find people without too much baggage. For women, because you can find high performing men before they become jaded enough to kind of adopt a playboy lifestyle when it comes to dating. Good for everybody. Of course, I didn't follow that advice, but if you're younger than me, pretty good advice to follow. But I kind of wonder, it's like, what the heck? It's like people say they want some things, and then they end up going for other strategies. It's like, why do people's strategies not align with what they say they want? And people just find themselves. I don't think it's quite that. Um, I think there's a lot of misinformation out there. Like, there's a lot of information that the tough blue collar, solid of the earth guy is a really good guy. No, no. If you've actually, some of them are. Don't get me wrong. Some of them are good guys. But a lot of them aren't. And the intellectual rich guy, he's terrible. No, your odds are better with a rich guy. They just are. And you think, they have so many options. Like, no, they don't. Because that, and also it's like, it's so weird how like the guy who's like not actually like that successful or anything is considered masculine, and me or somebody like me is considered like less masculine. And I'm like, wait, I'm the one who's been employed for 5 years, who isn't getting over a drug addiction, and actually like has a house and all these things, and somehow this random guy is more masculine. Like, you see in the Bible study groups a lot. Don't get me wrong, I like the guy in my Bible study group. He's like, I don't know, 27, 28. Good guy, I guess, but like, he's not going anywhere. It's like, why does he considered? Oh, he's got potential. It's like, well, what about the actual? Why are we making potential over actual? So yeah, that's why you see so many. Especially, you don't actually see that many Protestant girls on Hinge, which makes me think they have a better strategy, and that would actually explain why Protestants have such a better rate of finding families and marriage and everything than Catholics. I see a lot of Catholic girls on Hinge. Not many Protestants, even though Hinge, maybe it's my profile, but I feel like there's something going on there, right? Catholics need to get their shit together. I've pretty much given up on the faith. Not the faith, the church. Faith, I'm still believing in. But yeah, that's my thoughts, and you just keep sending out messages, and yeah, get nowhere. It's great. Okay, next story. Well, I had something. Something's been niggling in my mind for a while. It's gone now. So Thomas Sowell is probably one of the better philosophers we've had over the past century. Very conservative guy. So he's got this book about empires and conquering, and the basic theme. I should remember the name of the book before coming on here. The theme of the book is that empires spread whatever civilization is behind the empire. So it's a barbaric civilization, it spreads barbarism. If it's a civilized civilization, it spreads civilization. And so it's pretty much pro um, Western empires, which is cool and very unpopular today. And what people forget though is that if you don't have a civilized empire spreading, you have an uncivilized empire. And the civilized empire, for all the faults that have happened with empires over the past 200 years, they are so much better than the alternative. So what we have with the Houthis in Yemen is kind of interesting in that respect. And I would give this as an example to Israel too, and also the counterexample to Europe. So in Yemen, basically a bunch of barbers, barbarians, basically decided to fuck around, and they were finding out. They're like, "Oh, we'll fight America." It's like you realize we're not sending ground troops. You realize that we have a navy, and you're on the ocean. Are you sure you want to do this? Because we're not trying to do nation building here. We're trying to kick ass. You're going to get decimated. Israel is a similar thing where you have a barbarians try to kick the civilized people in the shins, and yeah, they find out real quick that that doesn't work out too well. That maybe civilized cultures do know how to shoot a missile. Then, of course, in Europe, you have the opposite thing happening, where you have non-civilized peoples, specifically Muslims and such, spreading through Europe and basically they're going to take over at least UK, France over the next 50 years, 20 to 50 years. So it kind of happened the other way too. So which would you rather spread? Do you want to spread the Western civilization that has some freedoms and liberties and some equal rights of women and people can be creative and if somebody's gay, it's okay? Or do you want to have another 20 Islamic countries? Which do you really want is a rebel. And that's why rebels are stupid. It's not the economic views, no. It's the immigration views. What is stupid about? What do you think? So yeah, it's interesting. I'm like, oh yeah, kick their butts. I mean, we have the Navy to defend trade. That's why we have a Navy. That's why we spend so much money on it. What's defend trade? And it's so stupid what they did in Syria because obviously I think it's pretty obvious to everybody right now that the deep state in the United States basically funded the rebels to take over Syria in order to basically cack a knee in Russia, which is a civilized country. Not as civilized as the West is, but more civilized than a lot of the alternatives. So they basically, screw Russia, screw Iran, West Syria be taken over. Yeah, good job. You got another ISIS there. You got basically Islamic State there. And I know so many people who are like, oh, this is going to go great. They're going to be peaceful and civilized. It's like, how many times do you need to be wrong? Honestly, how many times do you have to be wrong about this before you actually just get your heads out of your asses and wake up? They're Al Qaeda. I seem to remember 24 years ago, there was a shenanigan that happened with Al Qaeda. Why are you siding with them? Again, back to the thing about populist versus elitist. Okay, globalists versus populist. The whole argument about globalists is that they're not dumb, but they're acting so stupid. It's like, yeah, the average man in the street doesn't know everything, but he knows more than you. Which is kind of funny, actually. But yeah, that's basically my thoughts on the Houthi thing. Bomb them in smithereens. I'm sorry. I am just so sick of the whole, oh, we're poor, we're oppressed, oh, we're boo hoo hoo. So we get to kill people, we get to beat up people in the streets, we get to do this. No, no, no. Screw you. If you want to rule the world, you better damn well have something to show the world. Anyway, one final thing. Today's St. Patrick's Day. I obviously don't care that much. To me, St. Patrick's Day is I did get a beer though. But to me, St. Patrick's Day is kind of like the facsimile of culture. where it's pretending to be like a Christian, oh, festival thing, but it's during Lent, which is weird, right? And then Irish people don't actually, Ireland's not the biggest holiday. It's kind of like a made up thing. And yeah, St. Patrick was a person, but like the whole going out and everything, it's not really what it's supposed to. It's not a thing. So it's just kind of like it's, but it's not bad though. Like it is good to give people an excuse to get outside, which I guess is good. Gee, I really wish I could talk about that one more thing I wanted to talk about. It's gone. Anyway, springtime is here. Plenty garden. Wanted to cook. Yeah, I think that's it. I really wish I could remember the last thing I wanted to talk about, but it's just gone. Cheerio.